The manor that waits. It was supposed to be a simple dare, nothing more than a quick scare, a laugh, and maybe a blurry picture for their group chat. But as the heavy iron gates of Wickersham Manor creaked open beneath the weight of ivy and time, the air around the three teenagers shifted, heavy, cold, expectant. "You sure this is the right place?" Malik asked, pulling his hoodie tighter. His voice echoed faintly against the mist that rolled along the gravel driveway. "It's the only decaying mansion at the end of Black Hollow Road," Lexi said, already halfway through the gates, camera in hand. "Come on, we go in, take a selfie with the staircase, and get out." Taylor hesitated, glancing at the faded crest above the broken front doors, a stylized W encircled by thorny roses. "This place has been empty for over 100 years, he said. "People say it's haunted." Lexi grinned over her shoulder. "Exactly. That's why this will go viral." Inside, the manor seemed to breathe. Each footstep on the dusty floorboards stirred stale air, thick with mildew and secrets. The grand staircase, once elegant, now sagged slightly in the middle. Portraits lined the walls, aristocratic men and women, their eyes faded but fixed, as if still judging from the beyond. "Okay, this is seriously creepy," Malik muttered. Lexi clicked photos with her phone, light flashing across cracked oil paintings and cobwebbed chandeliers. "Creepy makes for good content. Keep moving." They reached the landing. Doors lined the hallway like silent sentinels. One at the far end stood ajar. "That's probably the master bedroom," Taylor whispered. "Let's check it out," Lexi said, already heading that way. As they stepped inside, the temperature dropped sharply. The room was oddly preserved. A four-poster bed with moth-eaten drapes, a vanity mirror with faded perfume bottles, and in the corner, a wardrobe with its door slightly open. On the vanity sat a yellowed photograph, a woman in a bridal gown, standing in front of the very house they were in. Her eyes seemed alive, her expression unreadable. "Weird," Taylor murmured. "This place should be falling apart, not frozen in time." Lexi picked up a dusty perfume bottle and opened it. "Still smells like roses. How is that even possible?" Malik shivered. "We got the selfie. Can we go now?" But Lexi moved toward the wardrobe. "Hold on." She pulled the door open, slowly. Hanging inside was a bridal dress, still pristine, untouched by time. Beneath it, a pair of white shoes and a single dried rose. "This is unreal," she murmured. Then they heard it, a soft sound, crying. All three froze. "Tell me that was you," Malik said. "No one said anything," Taylor replied, eyes wide. The crying grew louder. It was coming from beneath the bed. Lexi dropped her phone. It hit the floor with a sharp crack and went dark. Taylor knelt and slowly lifted the edge of the bedspread. His flashlight trembled in his hand. Nothing. "We need to go," Malik insisted. "Now." Lexi nodded. But when they turned to leave, the door slammed shut, and then they saw her. She stood in the corner, half-shadowed, a bride in full dress, her veil fluttering slightly despite the still air. Her eyes were hollow, her skin pale as wax. "He left me," she whispered, "left me at the altar." The room darkened, the air thickened, the crying returned, louder, closer. "Open the door!" Taylor yelled, rattling the knob. It wouldn't budge. The bride floated closer, her feet inches off the floor. "He promised," she said, But he never came. So I waited. Malik banged on the door with his shoulder. Move! With a final slam, the door gave way, and the three tumbled into the hallway. Lexi scrambled to her feet, snatching her phone. Behind them, the door creaked closed on its own. They bolted down the stairs and out the front doors, not stopping until the iron gates slammed behind them. But the story didn't end there. The next day, the group met at Lexi's house to review the footage and photos. Her phone, despite the cracked screen, had miraculously saved everything. Lexi plugged it into her laptop. They gathered around, watching the blurry hallway shots and faded portraits. Then they reached the final image. It showed the three of them, standing in front of the wardrobe. Behind them, the ghostly bride stood smiling, her hand on Lexi's shoulder. The photo was time-stamped, 11:59 p.m., the same time the bride had died, over a century ago. "That's not possible," Taylor whispered. "We were all in front of the wardrobe. None of us took that photo," Malik added. "Someone did," Lexi said. "Or something." She stared at the image, zooming in on the background. A reflection in the vanity mirror showed a shadowy figure in the corner. Not the bride. A man, dressed in a groom's suit, his face distorted. Curiosity turned into obsession. Lexi began researching Wickersham Manor, digging through newspaper archives and forgotten town records. What she found chilled her to the bone. The bride's name was Eleanor Wickersham. She had been jilted by her fiancé on their wedding day. He never showed, and her heart broken, she sealed herself in the room, never to be seen alive again. Weeks later, her body was discovered in the wardrobe, dressed in her gown, a dried rose clutched in her hands. They said she died waiting. Some whispered suicide. Others believed she had simply faded away, her spirit lingering. But that wasn't all. The fiancé, Jonathan Blackwell, vanished the same night, never seen again. Rumors swirled, murder, guilt, or even a pact gone wrong. And now in the photo, Lexi had seen his reflection. The three teens agreed never to return to the manor. But nightmares haunted them. Eleanor's voice echoed in their dreams, the crying, the rose, the clock striking midnight. One night, Lexi awoke to find rose petals on her pillow. Malik's bathroom mirror fogged up with the words, "He lied." Taylor heard knocking on his window, on the second floor. The haunting had followed them. "We have to do something," Taylor said during one of their hushed meetings. "We have to give her peace." So they returned, armed with candles, an old Bible, and a bundle of sage from Malik's grandmother. They made their way back to Wickersham Manor. Inside, everything was just as they left it, except quieter. Too quiet. They entered the bedroom once more. Lexi stepped forward, holding out the rose she'd brought, one freshly plucked, red and vibrant. "Helena," she whispered. "He's not coming. He's long gone. In another world. A world where your soul belongs too. You've waited so long, trapped by sorrow and hope that turned to pain. But it's time now. Time to rest. You've suffered enough. Let go of this place and join him. Let your spirit be free and find him where love still lives." The candles flickered wildly. The room grew cold. The bride appeared again, but this time she looked different, sad but no longer furious. The veil drifted from her face, revealing tears that sparkled like glass. "Thank you," she said softly. Then behind her, the shadow of a man appeared, Jonathan Blackwell. He reached for her hand. They faded together, like dust caught in sunlight. The house exhaled, the tension lifted, and Wickersham Manor, for the first time in over a century, fell silent.